One with the Wind has sadly come to an end, and when the anime was airing weekly, it was captivating me more and more after every new episode. Now, with my first video about this anime, I only talked about Haiji, but now I want to talk about everyone else in this anime. And I have to say, I love every single one of them. Not only that, I would be so bold to say that they're one of the most diverse cast of characters I've ever seen in a sports anime. All of them being unique characters who gave us a different viewpoint on life. Without any of these characters, the anime wouldn't have been as amazing as it was. And here's why. Now, the reason I say this is because the anime didn't have to be about winning. It literally could have been about any other team-based sport. And yes, there were some aspects about winning that is related to the theming of the show. However, it's the characters' interactions with each other and the way their different college lifestyles change when introduced to this sport. This is what really molded those themings. With every character learning to take a different perspective and outlook on the certain situation they got forced into. It helped them out in the long run. By applying all the experience they learned from training all the way to the Hakunin Ekiden, it made them into a better person, with a far more optimistic view in life. Not only that, but my favorite things about these characters is how well the anime was able to balance such a huge cast of characters, and not having anyone take over the spotlight. All possible through the amazing interactions they had with one another, letting us learn so much about everyone from personal backgrounds, personality, and how their college life was before all this winning. And the more you learn throughout the episodes, you start seeing parts of yourself in every single one of them. Because of that, they feel like they're your own friends and family. When I see them improve and achieve goals, I can't help but feel proud and happy for them. And that's an amazing feat for this anime. Within just 12 episodes, I was fully enthralled with these characters. Now, let's talk about these characters in detail. We have a total of 10 characters. Haiji, Kaku, Musa, Yuki, King, Prince, Shindo, Niko-chan Senpai, Joji, and Jota. And as much as I would love to go into detail about every single character and what message/lesson they offers us, I decided to focus on only 4 characters, Haiji, Kaku, Prince, and Shindo. I'm doing this because I feel like there would be quite some repetition going on if I tried to focus on everyone. So to start us off, we have a lovable bundle of joy, Shindo. And to be perfectly honest, he was one of my least favorite characters at the beginning of the anime. He had no sense of presence and felt like a super bland character. But after watching him grow throughout the episodes and seeing him at the Hakunin Ekiden, he skyrocketed himself into my top 3 favorite characters. Shindo did an amazing thing by changing his perspective on the predicament he was forced into. Instead of seeing it as a hindrance, he changed that way of thought and saw it as an opportunity to learn, have fun, and see if he will fall in love with winning. This mindset Shindo had soon was spread across to everyone on the team, and without it, the members wouldn't have been as passionate about getting into the Hakunin Ekiden than they are right now. But my favorite thing about Shindo was how much of a hard worker he was for the team. He helped the team get financial supporters, made a website to spread the word even more, and his run during the Hakunin Ekiden took my breath away.
こんなにも辛くて、こんなにも苦しいことをどうしてやめられないんだろう。仲間、目標、自分のため、意地と誇り。わからない。きっと誰にも。
Every time I watch this one, it hurts me so much inside. Seeing Shindo in so much pain, but still moving forward, because he doesn't want to be the person to end everyone's hopes and dreams right then and there. If that doesn't scream determination, then I don't know what will. Moving on from Shindo, let's get to Kaku. When we first meet him, he was someone who was so reserved with no ounce of passion, hope, and companionship in his entire body. It feels like such a waste for someone as talented as him in running to just decide to give up. However, as the series went on, we start to see him open up. He's a lot more friendly to everyone and is even helping out with training everyone. But he isn't 100% opened up to yet, and that's because of his backstory. We soon learn that Kaku was in a toxic environment where the coach for his high school was far too strict. and the more times Kaku started to recollect on the past, the image and the sound was simulated as if you were watching it in World War II, implying that every time he looks back at that memory, he saw the coach as a dictator. Even though he wasn't the one who was getting the harsh end of it, he couldn't stand seeing all of his teammates get abused like that, and soon, he couldn't take it anymore. Because of this, his teammates weren't allowed to go to meets, completely losing all the hard work they did, and people started to resent him for that. This is why Kaku is having a hard time to fully open up to everyone, because he keeps looking back at the past and not at the people right in front of him. He's scared about repeating history. But this all comes to an end when everyone accepts Kaku for who he is, no matter what his history was back then. So after that, Kaku finally opened up all the way and has stopped looking back at the past and started to live in the present. Next up, let's talk about Prince. He was one of the most drastically developed character out of all of them. And for most people watching this anime, he was the most inspirational. We saw someone who probably never did any physical activity for most of his life and had one of the worst running forms I've ever seen. Not to mention, it took him over 30 minutes to complete just 5 kilometers. But as the anime went on, he slowly improved and started to achieve such great milestones. Because of these, they gave us the most inspirational moments in the anime. And in my opinion, the best moment comes from episode 14, when it was Prince's last chance to get an official record.
頑張るしかないじゃないか。前に前に前に
This scene was truly perfect in my eyes, that no matter what, Prince never gave up, and he continued to move forward to the best of his abilities. Not only that, but it was the first time I've ever cried out of pure happiness for anything. I couldn't help but feel just as happy as everyone else in the anime, and that just shows how much these characters mean to me. Lastly, but definitely not least, we have Haiji, one of the most determined, hardest working, and caring person in the anime. Without him, none of this would have happened. But the most amazing part about Haiji was that he never gave up, and continued to try his best every time. If we take a look at his backstory, it's pretty tragic. After having a major injury in his leg and getting no support from his father, he quit track and started to hate it. He lost everything, a scholarship to the #1 college of track, and his hopes and dreams of winning in the Hakone Ekiden seemed far too impossible to reach. But even after all that, he knew he still loved winning, and he worked as hard as he could to convince and get 9 other people to do this with him. But the most incredible feat of determination was in the very last episode. Haiji sacrificed any chance of being able to walk normally ever again, just so he can help out his team to show them what the top really is. And as Kaku said, what Haiji was doing was the true embodiment of what it means to run. These 4 characters are the most important to me, and they all share the same lesson, that no matter what, you always look forward and you continue to move on. No matter how hard it is at times, you just have to go at your own pace and take it one step at a time.